Hey everyone, Jeff Lee here, NAB 2017 at the ARRI booth, joined by Chase Hagan. Thank you so much for joining us. And behind us, we have the brand new SXT-W. So Chase, obviously SXT indicates that it's the original sort of SXT family, but the W adds an interesting component to it. So W for wireless, but can you expand upon that a little bit more, please?
Absolutely. So it's a completely wireless camera now. What we mean by that is we're adding Wi-Fi functionality for camera control, and now you can do wireless color grading, whereas before it was a wired solution. Now it's wireless with the built-in Wi-Fi module. But what we're also most excited about is the video, the wireless video transmission. Up to 2,000 feet, you can have up to 4 receivers, and it's integrated completely into the camera. It's only about an inch bigger, and it adds only about 400 grams. So it's a complete solution, and our solution is unique because it doesn't interfere with any of the other wireless antennas on the camera. Because of course we have our wireless lens control system that we've had since even before the Alexa, and it's there, but when you use third-party boxes, A, you're having to wire them up, you're putting them on strong arms, you're worried about power cables failing, boxes failing, falling over, and of course they might be interfering with our wireless for our lens control with the WCU4. With our system, all the radios are coded and in a way that you don't have any issues with that. And it's encrypted 128-bit AES to all 4 of the receivers.
So that's great. Obviously, you mentioned a great point. ACs, love or hate it, they're sticking stuff on Velcro, dual lock, no-go arms, whatever it is, and it becomes a bit of a cable mess. So you've gotten rid of that. But more interestingly, I think, is what you mentioned about A, encryption, and B, you're paying attention to all the other wireless components happening with the camera.
Exactly, that's the big difference, is it's a complete solution. The idea with this camera is it's going to have quicker setup times. You're not have to worry about boxes. You're not going to be delayed on set, for example, with having to put boxes on the camera, rearranging stuff, and it's basically less spaghetti. And the big thing that when we designed it, we didn't realize it's both in our receivers and our transmitters, and of course, it's a big gain because a lot of other third-party transmitters, they take very specific input voltage. Anything over, for example, 15 volts will fry the box. Our receivers and transmitters can take up to 10 to 34 volts of power without frying the box. And actually, when we showed it to all the rental houses, that was the one thing they were the most excited about. They said, wow, less fried boxes, and they're just so durable, and also with the construction of the transmitters and the receivers, that they're ARRI product quality. It works from negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit all the way up to 120 degrees Fahrenheit as well.
So obviously, complementary to the camera, you need the other end of it, which is the receivers, which you started to mention. So you have standalone receivers for third-party monitors. I understand you also have a Starlight Transvideo solution built in.
Absolutely. Yes, so the Transvideo solution is their Starlight RF monitor. It is designed to be compatible with our system. It has a lower range because the receiver in it is a little bit lower in terms of intensity, so you can only get to about 600 feet with that, but still, most ACs hopefully aren't going to be more than 600 feet away from the camera, but ideally, the nice thing also is that monitor is very small and lightweight. It's a high-quality OLED panel, and it mounts perfectly on the WCU4 because we have that great monitor mount for it, so it's a really nice combination you can see over there. And with our transmitters, you can use the ARRI wireless system on any camera. So also the Mini and the Amira that don't have the built-in wireless video, you can add it in a very elegant battery cage solution we're going to be making that just clamps on V-lock or gold mount onto the back of the Amira, makes it a little bit longer, same with the Mini, or any third-party camera solution as well, just by a nice battery cage slapping that right on there.
That's great. One transmitter can feed multiple receivers, I assume?
Yes, up to 4 receivers from one transmitter. Yes.
And obviously uncompressed HD quality or
yes.
SDI.
Right. HD with less than 1 millisecond response time. Yes, right. And it mirrors the Monitor 3 output of the SXT. So the nice thing about the SXT, of course, that we introduced was the 4 independent monitor options, the viewfinder and the 3 outputs. So the nice thing is if you're wirelessly color grading, all you have to do is set the video stream up to show the look file, and anything coming out of the Monitor 3 output HD SDI on the camera and the wireless video are matched to show the look. And as you wirelessly color grade, you can see that change look all with less than a 1 frame delay.
That's great. And obviously the best thing is, which you mentioned earlier, is camera control and painting it. You just mentioned LUTs, matching
yes.
the SDI outputs. So all the third-party tools like PalmFort, LiveGrade, all those applications will still work just the same as before.
Yes, absolutely. You just connect the camera via wireless instead of the wired Ethernet connection that you did before. Yep.
Which is great. And you know, obviously integration with the WCU4 system, the whole thing, is just this really nice package. And also, I think really important too is, it's not just a brand new camera. Folks that have SXTs can upgrade.
Yes, absolutely. We'll begin the upgrading program in Q3, so anybody that has an existing SXT will be able to upgrade to the W, no problem. It can be done at any of the ARRI service centers across the world, including in Burbank in the United States, and also in New York in the United States, ARRI Canada. So it's a very simple process. All the camera has to do is be sent to service, and they'll have a radio upgrade just like a brand new SXT-W. And then starting from Q3 when the cameras ship, we'll ship all new SXT Pluses as Ws, and if you buy an SXT EV, you can have it upgraded to a W, so any SXT that's currently existing can go to a W, no problem. And we're even going to run promotions where when you purchase the 2 receivers, you'll get a free upgrade to SXT-W if you already have an SXT. So that way it actually ends up being that you have 2 receivers and the upgrade for a very low price.
That's great. That's phenomenal that you have all this sort of really thought out and all in one package, basically. So that's great.
Complete system like ARRI likes it.
Exactly. So Chase, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for letting us take a first look at the SXTW. Thanks again. So we're going to move on to some other stuff in the ARRI booth. Stay tuned for more. And we're back talking now to Phil Vischer about some new accessories as well. So Phil, what do you have laid out in front of us here?
We have new Diopter Accessories. So we have two different options. One, it's called Diopter Frame, and it has the width of 2 filter frames. You can use it in a clip-on matte box such as the Limit 25. And it's pretty straightforward. You're just using an existing diopter, 138, put it in. It has a safety built inside so it can't fall out. And like this, you're ready to go. Putting it here, as I said, limited to diopter 2 because 3 is too thick for the width of 2 filters. It has 2 1/4-inch threads in here that you can put it on an articulating arm when you're using split diopters and you want to do some crazy stuff in front of the lens. And there is also the possibility to use our existing tray catcher that it can't fall through when you're using it in Limit 25. This is the first option. Second option is called Diopter Stage. This can go at the back of an existing Limit 25, or you can use it independently as a standalone unit with a clamp adapter and clamp it directly to the lens. The thickness is so that you can use all diopters, also diopter 3. It has a safety built-in as well. And if you put in a split diopter, you have a friction wheel, and you can reposition your split diopter within the frame. Besides that, it's exactly the same as the other part, and you can use the sunshade from the Limit 25 and mount it directly onto the diopter stage if you want to.
Okay, so keep it really lightweight by doing that without having the rest of the great. And I also noticed this is Teflon coating or some other anti-slip material inside there to prevent the when you have a split diopter situation.
So this is really that you can, if you want to rotate the filter inside, that it's running smoothly. That's the idea. And then you have an adapter if you want to use 4.5-inch diopters within either the stage or the frame. You can just use the adapter, and then you're ready to go to using 4.5-inch diopters with it.
So for maximum flexibility, you go between 4.5 and 138.
Right. Beside that, another new product we have here is called the UBS. It's the Universal Bridge Support. It's a successor of the existing UBS 2, and what we did is we made it by 20% lighter, and it's also cheaper. It's pretty lightweight. It serves all 3 standards in the industry: 50mm lightweight, and 15 and 19 studio, both, like all 3 in one product. I think this is kind of unique in the market, and you can use it on your rods, adding hand grips with these ARRI rosettes. So that's the UBS 3. And then what we have now is a clamp adapter for the Limit 25 to use with Ingenio 24-290 optimal lens. It's a bit weird because with the 4x5.65 matte box, you would say like, why it's not really covering the whole coverage, the whole angle. So it says it may vignette at wide angles, but we got the feedback from people they rather live with the limitation and not getting another 6x6 matte box, another set of filters. So that's the idea why we just have this clamp adapter now available.
Right, we hear that often too as a rental house. Folks are getting just a 6x6 filter or matte box just for the one lens, but the rest of the kit is 4x5.65. Right. So this is a great solution.
Yeah.
And what else do you have?
And then we have a new product line in our PCA range, which we call Crew Supplies. So we have unit bags, we have pouches for filters, we have pouches you can put on belts here for all the small things you need on set. So we have 3 sizes. We have a small, a medium. This is the medium, and we have a large one. So this is something we have pretty new, and people are excited about it. They really love it.
Yeah, great. Gloves too, right? Leather work gloves.
Right.
Yeah.
Gloves as well. Yes.
Yeah, those are really popular now. I see a lot of folks prefer to have those because of the ARRI branding on those.
Yes, exactly.
Well, great. Thank you so much for these updates. This is really exciting, and it's just nice to know and nice to see that you have all these pieces that help solve issues and help solve problems.
I hope. Yes, I hope this can solve a lot of problems. Yes.
Well, Phil, thank you so much again for spending time, and thank you for for showing us the new products. Thank you so much again.
You're very welcome.
And we're back, and we're now joined by Hendrik Voss. Hendrik, you have some new updates for the Master Grips I hear. So what do we have today?
Yes, exactly. Some exciting new upgrades. Actually, it's an upgrade in the camera. that supports some new functions together with the master grips. You know, the master grips are a set of electronic hand grips that could control camera functions and lens. And right now, it's already possible, they're available. And they can control any lens with the C-Force motors or even with the Alexa camera with the CLM motors. That's possible right now. But with Alexa Mini and Amira SUP5, the software update package number 5 that's coming in a couple of weeks, it's possible to control EF lenses and ENG lenses from the Amira and Alexa Mini directly through the master grips. And here on this Amira, you see we have a Canon EF lens, and it's really a very exciting thing because you see it's a very clean setup. There are two cables, one cable connecting to the two hand grips, one cable connecting it to the camera, and then we have that EF lens here. I've now configured the master grips in a way that this master grip here is controlling focus, and this one is controlling iris. And as you see here in the image, it's very smooth. There's no steps. Look at this. I change the iris, I change the focus. There's no stepping. Yeah? And I show that to some people here on the show, and they say, wow, that's exactly what we want. You know, the single operators, yeah, one-man show. Want a very lightweight setup, very clean and simple. And that's great with the EF lens like that. But then in the past, we had the issue how to control the lens and also how to control the focus if you don't want to touch the lens. And with the master grip, you can just really solidly have your camera on the shoulder, very nicely balanced, very lightweight, and control focus and iris.
And that's a good point, because it's sometimes really awkward if you're holding the camera to let go of one hand grip to adjust something and then go back. And it often translates into the picture. So now with this, you've eliminated that altogether.
Yes, exactly. And on top of that, as it is already available now, right now, you have the possibility to put user buttons from the camera on the master grips and control some camera functions. So you really can hold the camera with the grips, have all the functions at your fingertips, and enjoy your work. Yeah.
That's great. So I also understand there's a few updates with the WCU4 as well. So what do we have going on there?
That's really one of the most awaited updates ever for the WCU4. You know, with the WCU4 we can create lens files, we can program lens tables, save them on the SD card. And especially with Alexa Mini, and WCU4 is used a lot with Alexa Mini, if you wanted to use those lens files, you had to take the SD card, copy this file to a USB stick, load it into the Alexa Mini, and that's not funny, really. You want to have that much easier. Now with the new software update, it's called SUP3, it's possible. So now we have a completely new workflow here. We have the SD card. It's possible to organize your custom folder structure on the SD card. For example, here on this one, I've created some folders. I can go here to lens file transfer. And then I've created a folder on my SD card called My LDA. LDA stands for Lens Data Archive. So if I go into that folder, I have more folders like ARRI, Ingenieur, Cook, Hawk, Leica, Panavision, Zeiss, and whatever. So I've grouped my lenses into those folders. Now, you know, this hand unit is controlling the Alexa Mini above us on the drone. And I have a 32mm Ultra Prime on it. So now I can go to my ARRI folder, go to UP, like Ultra Prime, select my 32mm lens. I have all the lenses in this folder. Just scroll through. Where is it? Here is it. Select it, and now when I press send, it's transferring the lens file wirelessly to the camera. I'm just calibrating the lens again. And that's it. It's very convenient. I'm very happy that we have it, really. I was waiting myself for long. It was not trivial to implement it, but it's implemented now with SUP3 for WCU4 and SUP5 for Alexa Mini. Both software updates will be available in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
That was really easy. Just watching you do that, it took a few seconds to send up to the camera that's above us right there. Yeah. So that's coming soon.
That's coming soon, but that's not all. There are more exciting things. So another thing many people really ask us for, and I completely agree, that they wanted the full playback control of the Alexa Mini from the WCU4. So we have that here also. I go to the camera menu, go to play. Then I have my playback menu. I can go to the clip list, select a clip, and I can playback that clip and playback, stop it, shuttle through it, even frame by frame, skip through the frames, and have full playback control. And last but not least, we have a new menu item here in the setup menu. That is a user setup. So, we can save user setups in the camera that can contain recording parameters or lens files or whatever. And those user setups I can access here from the menu and change them. So I also can have a very dedicated so I can access all those user files here, user setups from the hand unit.
That's great. I mean, this seems to be the show for wireless for ARRI with SXTW and the updates here with WCU4, and making it really convenient, like you said, for folks operating on drones or gimbals or other remote possibilities.
It's correct. It's a show for wireless. Nobody likes wires. We don't like them very much either. But it's also the show for lens data. And let me tell you why. I just showed you the wireless lens file transmission to the camera and so on. And one very exciting thing, and I really like it, makes me smile, is you say I just had this lens files organized on the SD card, and usually it's like that. There's a rental house, or there are some lenses somewhere, and the AC is coming. Once you use that lens with our system, he's programming lens table. Does the job. Maybe he keeps the lens table, or she keeps the lens table on his laptop. He can use it again when he gets the lens again. But when the next AC comes, he programs the same lens file for the same lens again. And people are coming to us and saying, why don't you somehow make a sharing platform for sharing lens files, so that if somebody created a lens file already for a special lens, another person can get it. So on our website we did that. It's still a beta version, but it's available right now at arri.com. You could just arri.com/ it's called Lens Table Marketplace. And there you can upload lens files and download lens files. Right now, all the ARRI lens files that are in our cameras and Lens Data Archive are there. For the reason that if you want to use that WCU4 workflow with wireless lens file transmission, you can put your custom lens files on your SD card, but you also want to have ultra primes and master primes and so on the SD card, because you don't want, for custom lens files, you transmit it from the handset, and for the other lens files, you have to go to the camera, still selected from the menu. So you can download all those files that you need from our Lens Table Marketplace and put them on your SD card and select it from there and send it to the camera wirelessly.
So it's a community then. You'll have people can upload their own lens files?
Exactly. It's even if you go to our website and you go to the navigation menu, there's a point called community, and then under community is forum and the Lens Table Marketplace. But that's not all. On the people want to cross it. That's not all. Another issue we had with the lens file is that you get a lens file somehow and it doesn't work. For some reason, the numbers on your display are not good. They're looking funny, or there are no numbers at all. And people used to ask me, Hendrik, I have a file here, I programmed it, it doesn't work, why? So I tell them, okay, send it to me, look into it, and so on. Now with the Lens Table Marketplace, you can upload the lens file, and then you will have a graphical representation of your content, of your curves. So you see how many data points are in there. Do I have an iris axis also in there, or for focus, is it imperial or is it metric? It's all in a graphical display there. Lens were very useful. And last but not least, after downloading a lens, you can use it and then you can rate it. We have a 5-star rating system, so that if you use it, you can give it 5 stars maybe, and then the next user knows, oh, well, it got already 5 stars from so-and-so many users. Must be an accurate file.
That's great. So there's a way to preview it and also build a network. And again, like you said, rating is helpful just in case as a community aspect to be able to share that information across the community.
Yeah. And I hope people will use it. I think it's a useful tool.
Yeah, no, that's a great update. That makes a lot of sense. It just helps save time. And that's really the name of the game, is to speed up everyone's workflow.
Exactly.
Great. Well, Hendrik, thank you so much for joining us and running through the updates for Master Grips and WCU4 and Lens Data. Thank you for joining us. This concludes our tour of the ARRI booth. This is Jeff Lee again for NAB 2017. That's all for now. Take care.